Шановні колеги, ми продовжуємо робочий день.
Dear participants, we continue our working day, and I invite Colonel Andriy Lysenko, official spokesperson of the Ministry of Defense. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Please listen to the latest events in the ATO area during the last 24 hours, and now by areas near Lugansk, the situation considerably improved, particularly the large-scale combat activities near around Popasna district had almost finished, and there are just several shellings from small arms near Оріхова, Zolotenova, Alexandrovka. But the militants became more active into other hotspots, particularly yesterday. There was an enemy shelling near Stanitsa Luganska. The occupants used mortar. Near Krymska, there was similar but stronger and longer shelling. Near Stanitsa Luganska and Krymska, there were 17 mortar mines, 2 shellings, and one of them 6 shellings, and 2 of them from heavy weaponry. Near Donetsk, the combat activities, as earlier, are held only in some spots. Yesterday, the occupants violated ceasefire regime in 3 locations near Lugansk, Verkhnyotorets, Avdiivka, where they shelled from small arms. In general, near Donetsk, yesterday, there were 3 enemy shells, and out of them 1 was from heavy weaponry. Near Mariupol, the situation remains rather complicated. The occupants do not wish to stick with the Minsk agreements and continues massive shellings of our positions along Talakivka-Shirokina line from heavy weaponry. Yesterday's morning began with a combat strike in Vodane, which lasted for 1 hour. During this combat, the enemies requested artillery support. The fire was held from 2 directions. Later, heavy mortars and gun shellings coming from occupants were felt in all the villages close to the front line, Talakivka, Vodane, Lebedinska, Shirokina. The cannonade lasted for 11 hours. At the end of last 24 hours, there was one more serious here. The total number of launched shellings was more than 500. In Mariinsky district, combat activities almost stopped. During the last 24 hours, there were 19 shellings and 13 from heavy weaponry. There were no perished servicemen of Ukrainian forces, but 3 were wounded and 2 got explosive shocks. The Security Service of Ukraine had detained a woman who is informer of the militants and provide occupants with information about deployment and transportation of Ukrainian units in Bakhmut. The car with weapons and guns was stopped at the checkpoint near Berezovaya-Mariinska district in Donetsk region. 6 rifles were expropriated. Near Mariupol, the policemen had special exercises on defense of the checkpoint point, they were trained in quick responses and quick checks of their cars. At the same time, in the ATO area these days, the National Guard's officers are trained in efficient checks on blog posts and also in delivery of the first aid checks of transportation vehicles, and are strengthening cooperation with representatives of the monitoring mission and GCCC group. That's all information. Thank you. Now questions.
Загородній Михайло, do you have any information on the losses of the enemies? If we do have the information on losses of the enemy, we give it, but we give only the information which is confirmed. Could you please comment on the situation with the withdrawal of troops? Do you notice any more activity of the militants after this murder of one of the leaders of the militants? Do you see more activity after the murder of one of the leaders of separatists in Donetsk? As to withdrawal of forces and equipment, according to the morning decision signed in September this year, the further actions were taking place in Zolote and Petrivske. As to Stanitsa Luganska, because of regular provocations and shellings of the enemy, these actions are impossible because they contradict the conditions of withdrawal of forces and equipment, according to which there should be 7 days of continuous silence. And that is why Stanitsa Luganska is the only place where there was no withdrawal of forces and equipment. The Ukrainian side is ready for that. We already have the locations where the forces and equipment could be withdrawn. The representatives of OSCE mission are warned, informed about that, but these actions are impossible yet. And as to the murder of one of the militants, he was not the leader, the militant. The thing is that this did not affect the situation in the front in any way. Thank you. No more questions. The press conference is over. Thank you.
Дякую вам, шановні колеги.
Thank you. The next event will take place at 3 o'clock.